So today we're going to be talking about the electron transport chain, and we talked about this in class on Thursday. So I'm just going to start off by drawing the bilayer of the mitochondrial membrane. And then we're going to leave some spaces for stuff that we'll fill in later. And so this is what is known as the inner mitochondrial membrane. And then this is the matrix. And then this would be the intermitochondrial membrane space. And so now you guys are going to need about 12 colors, I think. And we're just going to start filling in the proteins and the gaps in the phospholipid bilayer. And so the first one, I'm just going to draw that and fill it in. And then draw this one, fill that guy in. I'm using a vaguely different color for all of these because they all have like different reactions that take place, and I just like to associate those different reactions with different colors, but you could honestly probably just use the same color and it would be okay. But we will use a distinctly different color for the last protein because the last protein is ATP synthase, which we talked about in the photo unit, or the photosynthesis unit, and that one has a really different purpose than all of these, so we're going to put it in a really different color. All right, and now we're going to talk about the reactions that take place at each of these, and then I'm going to use two colors for one of like the electron transport chain reactions and then a different one for the other, and I'm going to talk about why that is, and you should be able to see why that is shortly. So this is where NADH goes into NAD+, so that's at the first protein, and then at the fourth protein, you're going to have 2 electrons plus 2 hydrogen ions and half of an O2 diatomic molecule, and that's going to change into H2O. And this was on our diagram, like the box and arrow diagram that we did in class, but this is just like where it happens inside the chain. And then for those green reactions, you're going to put an orange star by these two, and then we'll put an orange star in a third place later, and that orange star just represents the release of energy at that protein. And now the next reaction that happens is FADH2 will change into FAD, and that happens at the second protein. And now we're going to talk about the movement of electrons. So the movement of electrons are going to be released from this, and they're also going to be released from here. They're going to travel to the third protein, travel to this one, all the way over here, and that's just where they ending up. So far we talked about the 3 reactions, and then there's one more that we haven't talked about yet, but we'll get to that. And so the difference between these 2 reactions is that these 2 reactions release energy, and because they release energy, they contribute hydrogens and electrons instead of just electrons, like this reaction. And now we're going to draw the movement of those hydrogens. So since this one releases hydrogen, this is where the hydrogen is going to be pumped across. I'll just draw some H plus molecules, and then, so no hydrogens will be getting pushed across at this one, and here they will be getting pushed. So there's some. And then here is where the most hydrogens are going to come from. And so we'll draw like a lot more hydrogens. And then here is where all of the hydrogens collect and they're able to go through the ATP synthase. And then it does the same sort of spinning motion that we talked about with photosynthesis. And it is called like hydrolyzing ADP and a phosphate into ATP. And then, so that's it. That's all the electron transport chain is. And then, so that's what your picture should look like.